Hello, beautiful souls. It's Andrea with Enlightening Offerings. I wanted to come on here today and discuss with you one of my favorite modalities that I offer and play with and enjoy and dive into on a regular basis. It's called divination. And divination is an ancient art that spans millennia and cultures, races, religions, and it is the way of divining answers from the unseen realms. So we don't always know why we're here or what we're supposed to be doing or what we should do or where to go next. And there are ways that we can tap into higher frequencies in order to divine those answers, or at least some guidance, some ideas of where to go next, or how to handle certain situations that we find ourselves in, or even how we ended up where we are. So I have some examples here of the tools that I hold, and if these don't resonate with you and you're interested in learning a divining art, there are dozens. Please do not think I am exaggerating. Go to Wikipedia, look up divination. They actually have it all in alphabetical tabs, and there are probably dozens within each letter. There are many, many ways to divine answers for life's greatest questions. As simple as meditation. You could just sit down and ground and root in and just ask your question, or just sit in silence and listen for what comes to you. That is a form of divination. Some of the more common ones that we see in society are, again, my favorite, the thing that I resonate most closely with when I am looking to divine answers or my clients are asking questions, is through tarot cards. I have been working with the tarot for, I think this is going my 4th year of steady deep dive work. I have held tarot decks of my own since I was probably 16, but I really dove deep about 2019, and it really has clicked. And when you're looking for different arts and ways to connect with the unseen realms, you want to listen for that bell of truth, right? Tarot cards rang that bell of truth for me, and it's just a really beautiful way to tap into and divine those answers. Another way that you can ask questions and get answers is through different types of scrying. So scrying is you sit and you relax your eyes, and it's kind of like an open-eyed meditation in a way. And you can look in mirrors, or I have an obsidian disc, or that's where the whole crystal ball art comes in, different types of crystal, and you don't look for images, but you allow images and messages to come to you. Another way is through reading tea leaves, and you take your loose leaf tea, you drink it, or whoever is looking for the answers, and you finish your tea, you dump the dredges upside down. Some people actually read the plate, or you can read the inside of your teacup. Now, I have a really fancy one that I bought that has different images on the inside, which will help where the tea leaves stay, can help you identify that that's the image that correlates to the message that you're supposed to be receiving. Or you can just use grandma's teacup and look for shapes in the tea leaves. And there's a lot more to it. I'm just giving you a very basic overview, of course. Another way that I use divination is through pendulum work. Now, pendulum work is when you take an object that hangs and you ask your question, you can hook it between your fingers, ask your question, and however the weight reacts is indicative of the answer. So pendulum work is really good for definitive answers. Yes, no answers. I use pendulum work most for that. If I am working with a client, I will usually use my fancy little tray that I purchased that has your yes, no. It also has some not really sure. So it's got maybe an unknown on there too in the diagonal. And I prefer when I'm working with clients that they don't ask the question out loud, because it is my hand, right? So I could affect the answer if I knew the question and I had an opinion about it. However, I have the experience, in my experience, my hand is not moving. It is the pendulum doing its work. And it's pretty amazing. It's pretty on point, which I find intriguing. So, the concept of tarot cards, though, is a little different. I don't use, personally, there's all kinds of different ways people do this, I don't use tarot cards for yes-no questions. I use tarot cards to, as I was taught, explain a story. So you read the pictures that come up in the cards, and whatever jumps out at you, like the tea leaf shape, is indicative of the answer to the dilemma. My tarot readings tend to lean more towards soul purpose. Why are we here? How did we get here? What choices have I made that have brought me to this point? What pattern do I need to see in my behavior so that I can adjust it to wherever I want to be going or wherever I'm supposed to be going? Because we all are here for a purpose. We are here to learn lessons, right? And so the more clarity that we can get, the more we can know thyself and understand the choices that we make over and over and over again, the better equipped we will be to stand in our self-centered power and make perhaps better or different choices in the future, or stay right on track if that's what we're supposed to be doing. And so tarot cards, I very rarely will do a one-card draw. Some people use traditional spreads, which is, if that works for them, great. I was taught to just kind of see how the cards are supposed to go and then start talking. And typically I'll go through and look at all the cards that come out in whatever design they're in what order they came out, direct, which is upright, or reversed, which is upside down, has different meanings for me. Not everyone reads reversed cards. And then I start to tell the story. And then I allow my client to talk. Typically when I sit with clients, I will ask them at the beginning, do you have a specific question, or would you like to just allow the cards to talk? And 95% of the time, people just want the cards to talk. They typically will have something in mind, but either they don't want to say it, or they are a little skeptical and just want to see how accurate this is, or I've worked with them enough that they just trust and are in the flow of their own personal faith and their own personal power, that they know that the cards are about to tell them exactly what they need to know, and us getting in the way of that with specific topics can actually hinder the process. So just letting the cards talk. So I say my message, I allow my client to speak, and then we go back through typically one more time. Tarot readings last about an hour, usually, sometimes longer. And it's very rarely superficial, basic topics. Mine, like I said, we dive into soul purpose, why we're here, how we got here, and how we can become better human beings, which I'm all about, that juicy, deep level stuff. Another tool to use are oracle cards. And I've used oracle cards on here a couple of times in the past, And I use the Tamed Wild pack that I purchased, and I just love. They're beautiful, they're juicy, they're meaty. There's really good information on all of them. I asked before I got on here for cards that would help my audience, the people that will be watching this, and myself, and I didn't like the card I got. So I drew another one, and it was very similar, and so I'm going to share it with you because we can't pick and choose when we listen to spirit, when we listen to the cards, because they're telling us exactly what we need to know, and to question that is to question our faith. And that's why how we really deepen into these delicious practices and the divination arts is because it's almost like a muscle. The more we work with it, the more we accept its wisdom, the more it is able to help us, right? So before I tell you what our cards are, what is it? To me, when I am working with the cards, I am speaking to, a lot of times, my higher self. So my higher self, to me, is that part of me that is not embodied. It is not in this body. It's still closer to spirit. It's still closer to the divine, universal energy, God, however you choose to label that, source energy. So my higher self is still outside of this physical realm. She knows why I'm here. She knows what I signed up to learn. She knows who my soul family is. She knows exactly who I'm supposed to be working with and helping and learning through and experiencing life with. And so to be able to connect with that information is so powerful, right? And so beyond her, and I identify as her, so my higher self I feel is feminine essence. But you can connect with your higher self in however you wish to do so or feel into doing so. And so beyond my higher self, I feel that there are even higher energetics that we can tap into and that are so eager to help us humans evolve and progress and become better beings. And so you can call those angels or spirit guides or hierarchy of light. There are beings out there that are all different and certainly want to help us and aid us and give us information and guidance. Ancestors. A lot of people work with ancestors, and this is a really great way to work with ancestors. You know, this is my grandmother's teacup. And although I was not vocal about my spiritual path before she passed on, I know for a fact she would fully support me using her beautiful china to further my spiritual path and to help others further theirs. So my grandma was a helper. So that's who I feel that we tap into when we talk to these energies. You know, I always use protections, just to ensure the purity of the message, and it's just an amazing art to tap into. And if you feel interested or intrigued on how to work with specifically tarot cards, I do plan on hosting an event later this year, just to kind of like dip your toes into the tarot. Just kind of dip your toes in. Maybe a Saturday for a couple of hours. Very, very basic overview. If you've got a deck that you've worked with and you just don't really know how to do it beyond the booklet and what the internet says, I will help you tap into your intuition. We'll talk a little bit about archetypal imagery and how to read into the different cards. Very excited to offer that. So, our cards for today. The first card was grounding. What do we need? What does our audience need? What do I need? Grounding. No, spring is coming. I want to be up and out and going, doing things and making ideas and planning stuff. But I need grounding. Okay, so it speaks to working with your chakras and sitting in meditation and pulling universal energy through your chakras so as to really embody your physical form, which is super important. And I personally tend to not ground as often as I should. And then the next one is receptivity, and it speaks to earthing, right? Yes, grounding, earthing. So it suggests that we go outside and we walk barefoot and we gather leaves and look for flowers and look for nuts on the ground and look at the animals and really. So, friends, much as I didn't want this to be the message, isn't it amazing? I am looking outside. It's beautiful outside. Washington is warm in winter time, and we had beautiful sunshine earlier. And so, yes, thank you. Thank you. This is the perfect message. Let's go ground, open up to receptivity, allowing Fortuna's blessings to flow to us. And we sit in gratitude for all that we have. So, thank you for watching. If you have any questions or if you are interested in my upcoming workshop this year, please let me know. And I can definitely let you know details as they come to me. So, well, blessings to you all, and I hope you have a lovely, lovely midwinter sunny day.